Hey, my name is Al Capone. I was born January 17, 1899, died in 1947. I don't want to talk about that.
Let me tell you guys a little bit something about myself. I came from New York with my parents who used to live in Italy. Alright? My Uncle Jim persuaded them to come to Chicago, where he told me about this game called the Chicago Outfit. I was like, it sounds interesting.
When I first joined the gang, Johnny Torrio was in charge. I didn't really know much, but after a few years of being in the gang, I slowly climbed up the ladder. Then I started talking to him. And then he got into some big trouble with the government about like some tax evasion stuff. And then he asked me if I wanted to be in charge of the gang. I was like, alright, sounds good.
So then I was like, really? Alright, I could take the position if you want. He's like, no, I don't want you to take the position. Just kidding, you can take the position. Anyways, but I want you to know something. Do not lose your trust with the Northern Gang. Alright, they could be a really valuable ally.
After a few years, we raked in $100 million a year. But then I got into some trouble with the government about like some tax evasion stuff, like what happened with Johnny Torrio. And then after I was in jail for a few years at Alcatraz, I spent my life just like super easily. But then I died with like some sickness after 4 years of getting out of jail. I'm Al Capone, and now you know the rest of the story. Alphonse Gabriel Capone first joined the Chicago outfit from an invitation from Big Jim Colissimo and Johnny Torrio, the leader. When Johnny Torrio had to leave the gang, Al Capone took his place, and after a few years, Al Capone's organization raked in over $100 million a year. The Chicago outfit became the biggest mafia there ever was in American history, and he was their notorious leader. He was the first person in U.S. history to serve 11 years in prison for tax evasion in Alcatraz. He is Al Capone, and now you know the rest of the story.